Welcome, everybody, to another A.J. Brown tweet. I'm just kidding. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. And in the upper left corner, we got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Cottrell.
Gents, Gene, it's funny you say another week of the A.J. Brown tweets, and I feel like this is just going to be like your local soap opera, where that's what we're going to be talking about every week here.
Bro, I'm done with him. I can't wait till he leaves. I know in the offseason he'll leave. They'll figure out a way to get rid of him. They'll take a huge cap hit. It's the risk that you get for paying a jerk off. And it's what it is. The guy's an asshole. He cares about himself more than he cares about team. You can pay him any amount of money you want in the world. Doesn't matter. He's gonna cry and bitch. And honestly, man, it's just, I mean, he's a better version of what Ben Simmons was. Just a crybaby bitch. And I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of him. I can't wait till he's gone. Let him go destroy someone else's locker room. I can't stand him. I absolutely hate him. So, in the upper right corner, Scholastic Shally, Uncle Shally, A.J. Brown's biggest fan, Bill Shallcross.
Hardly. Just not jumping to conclusions and trashing somebody when nobody really knows what the fuck's going on. That's all.
I mean, every week the guy's crying and complaining.
I know. My God, he tweets. Oh, God, it's the end of the world. It's tearing apart the locker room.
He is. 100%.
I know. Yet nobody's saying a damn thing about it. It's weird.
Best two offensive performances the last 2 weeks. Jalen Hurts is the best touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL. But, hey, listen. Everybody else the problem.
What are you even talking about, dude? So Jalen Hurts is doing his job. Okay, cool. A.J. Brown had 2 touchdown catches 2 weeks ago. I don't. So again, they're winning football games. What the fuck is the problem?
The problem is he's a crybaby bitch, and I'm tired of it.
What is he crying about?
Not getting the ball, the enemy.
Yeah, God, he's the only wide receiver ever that was like, I want the ball more. God, he must have fallen. He must have got here from fucking Jupiter. Nobody's ever said that before. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Exactly.
He's crying over not getting the football. Yeah, it's absolutely absurd.
I'm as an outsider looking in, I feel like it. And I asked you this question after it happened in the Vikings game, but seeing how explosive the offense looked and seeing how much success Jalen has had, it almost feels like getting him and Schmitty the football is how that offense is going to run effectively.
Yep. Wow. I mean, that's a novel concept. Get a top 5 wide receiver in the game, the football more. Crazy. Crazy. We would think crazy that'd be an idea of somebody on the offense to do that. Wow.
Didn't happen this week. The offense moved just as it
yeah. Let's put the Giants game as the fucking measuring stick for that.
Hey. Listen, they didn't get him the ball. They didn't have to get him the ball this week. They spread the ball around. They traded John Mechie out this week. John Dotson had a big touchdown catch this week. All is well within the land of non-A.J. Brown fans.
All is well just within the Eagles realm in general. They're 6-2. To you, because you don't like A.J. Brown. Nobody else on the Eagles team is bitching. They're 6-2 and they're winning. Nobody's saying a word. This reason this keeps getting legs is because people like you have to have a reason to talk about something negative. That's why. That's why this keeps having legs. I know.
It's the absolute #1 lead story on ESPN every single day. So people like me who absolutely know what's going on.
I have not seen a goddamn thing about A.J. Brown on ESPN.
Colin Coward just had a whole thing on Fox.
He's on Fox. That's not ESPN.
Okay, jerk off. Watch TV.
I do watch TV. Get your sports station right. Don't say it's #1 on ESPN, and then me and Cottrell both go, we haven't seen shit, and you go, oh, well, Colin Coward, that's Fox, jerk off, so get that right.
It was on Stephen A. Smith. It was on Pat McAfee. It was on Colin Coward. I don't know where you live. Get your head out of your ass and out from under a rock and watch.
Yeah,
take
good.
It's on every channel on WIP.
Dude. It's the same thing as before. Oh God! All you ever do is bash our sports radio. Now it's gospel. The goalpost. I don't know how you have enough time to sleep when you pick up goalposts and fucking move them every day, all day long. You must be exhausted, bro. Exhausted.
I'm good. I'm talking about the same shit everybody else is talking about. You just defend them every single week.
Defending them. I said
you jerk off when you do it.
I said numerous times you could be right, but you are talking out of your asshole right now because nobody knows what the beef is about. Nobody knows. Nobody has any credible source, credible reports, or anything. I've told you numerous times you could be 100% right. Have I not?
Right.
It on here. I've put it in fucking text and everything. You also could be 100% wrong, just like everybody was about Donovan. That's my whole point. I'm tired of fucking talking about it because nobody fucking knows. It's stupid. We're all sitting here gossiping like 8-year-old schoolgirls about what AJ or Jalen Hurts might be mad about each other about. That's it. That's what we're doing. It's fucking stupid.
He puts a tweet out every day, an Instagram post out every day. He cries about this. He cries about that. He puts a tweet out an hour after the game. He apologizes about it on Tuesday and Wednesday. You're the only guy in the city that's have a problem with it.
I don't care. They're winning football games. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything, so why should I care?
I mean, it's going to affect things when they play good teams down the stretch.
Oh my God, they're 6-2, and then they lost because they played 2 shitty football games. They should be 8-0, and none of it had anything to do with Jalen Hurts or fucking AJ Brown, mind you. So I don't know what the problem is. Let's be objectionable about it. They should be 8-0. They played 2 bad games, and neither one of those 2 people.
They could be 4-4.
Yeah, that would be AJ's fault too, I guess.
Well, they could be 4-4. They blocked a kick at the end of the game to win a football game. Like. Are we pretending that they didn't play games that they should have lost? Like you can't say
what is
8-0.
Okay, they could be 8-0
the entire game, front to back.
Right, but none of it had nothing to do with AJ and fucking and this beef with Jalen Hurts. Did it have anything to do with AJ and Jalen, which is what I originally said? Did the locker room beef? Is that why they lost the Giants game? Because those two.
I don't think that's why they went out and got PG to bring him back. To kind of simmer the
They brought BG back, too, because we're like 24th in the league in fucking sacks. We have no edge pressure, and they get BG for cheap. You think they brought Brandon Graham back to heal this huge divide in the locker room? Oh, bro, my God. Then why did they do that? Why did they do that? You know. Tell me what the beef's about, Gene. Tell everybody. Breaking news.
AJ Brown is a crybaby, and when he doesn't see the ball, he cries about it.
That's not what the beef is, though.
The beef is AJ Brown is a crybaby. He's not getting the ball enough.
That's not the beef. That's your narrative. They have a personal issue.
No. 3 days after the Super Bowl, he went and said, "Oh, I thought winning would be good, but I really just want to dominate the defenders."
This started last year. Everybody knows that. This started way before the Super Bowl. Something happened with the 2 of them. Please tell me what it is. You're the only person in the city that clearly knows what it is. What is their beef about?
AJ didn't get the ball enough, and he yelled.
That has nothing to do with it. There's nothing to do with it. They got a fight last year in the middle of the season. That's documented, but nobody knows what it's about. Please tell us all. What is their beef about? What did Jalen do to AJ, or what did AJ do to Jalen?
The ball enough.
That is, bro. Whatever. That is the biggest cop out ever. Just say you don't know because nobody else knows. That's not you admitting something. Nobody knows what their beef is about. Nobody. Or guys in the locker room that do know aren't saying it out loud because it's going to stay in the locker room. True or false? Nobody knows what it's about.
AJ didn't get the ball enough. He's crying.
That's not it. That's not it, Gene. And that's not it. And if that's your answer, that's fine. You're dead wrong. Everybody knows they got in a personal.
You're dead wrong about AJ Brown.
They got in a personal wrong.
It's not an issue, and no one's talking about it. It's on every station.
Okay, then what's the beef about? What's the beef about? Your whole basis is about something you don't know fucking anything about. That's your whole argument. You tell me it's about the ball. It has nothing to do with the ball. They got in a personal argument like week 7 last year. Nobody knows what that is, including you. True or false?
I have no idea what it's about.
Exactly. That's it. So nobody knows. So for a year and a half, we keep talking about it.
For a year and a half, Jalen Hurts goes to a press conference and acts like an adult and a professional.
No, he doesn't. He's a robot. He's a robot.
Acts like an adult and a professional.
That's what leaders are supposed to do, Gene.
Tweets out every day like a 14-year-old schoolgirl.
He's a tweet.
I care.
Good. Who gives a shit what you think? You're not in that locker room. You're not on the team. Nobody gives a fuck, Gene. You're not on that team. You're not in that locker room. They're still winning football games, and nobody has publicly come out and said, AJ, shut the fuck up. Why is that, Gene?
It happened last year when Brandon Graham said
what happened last year? Okay, let's get back. What happened last year?
Brandon
you
Graham
don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Okay. Nobody knows but the people in that locker room. So let's just keep speculating and speculating. I feel like I'm in fucking middle school again.
I know. Watching his Instagram and his tweets, it is middle school. You're right.
Hey, man, they won a Super Bowl last year. They might win another one. If that's what it takes for the two of them to keep winning football games, then so fucking be it. Who cares?
They're not going to win a Super Bowl this year with this shit.
With this shit? They won it last year with this shit. It started last year in the middle of the season.
It turned down 1,000,000% last year. And then for whatever reason, it's done.
Yeah, you can't say it because it's not true. They played through this shit last year. This all started last year. They went out and won a Super Bowl.
If you don't think Howie Roseman gave him shut-up money in the offseason, I don't know what to tell you. And the fact is it's going to burn us because it's going to be a $90 million cap hit when they have to get rid of him in the offseason.
I think it's funny that you're just jumping to conclusions that Jalen Hurts is completely innocent in this.
I'm not saying that Jalen's completely
okay. So Jalen is the cause of it. Then what would you do?
In the press conference and how they've carried themselves in public and how they carried themselves on the field. When was the last time you seen Jalen Hurts throwing a temper tantrum on the sideline? When was the last time you seen him reading a book? When was the last time you seen him making cryptic tweets about everybody online? When was the last time you seen any of that?
No, I see Jalen Hurts look like he doesn't give a shit when he throws an interception. He's the same person all the time. He's a robot.
And that's what makes people win in big games. Is when
I'm not saying anything bad about Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying he's not being a leader. I don't know where that came from. It has nothing to do with that. That's what Jalen's supposed to do. Jalen's supposed to go to a press conference, being the leader and the captain of this football team and the face of the franchise, and do exactly what he's doing. Praise to Jalen Hurts. I've said that before. I've said before, you could be right. All I've said is you don't know. Just like I don't know, like nobody knows because it hasn't come out yet. I've literally said you could get your flowers and be 100% right. I'm just saying I'm not going to look like the dumbass like last time when everybody sucked Donovan McNabb's dick and then it all came out that he was being a bitch about everything. That's all I said.
I never did.
Sorry.
That. So I never did that. So you can't use that against me.
I'm not using it against you. I'm comparing it to a prior situation that happened in this city. It's not a bad comparison. That's what everybody did. Everybody's like, T.O.'s the prom, getting the hell out of here. And then Brian Dawkins and people like that came out and said, there's a ton more to this story than anybody knows. And then all of a sudden it was, Donovan's being a bitch. Donovan's telling the OC not to call plays for T.O. Donovan's pissed because he's not the most popular Eagle and he's not selling the most jerseys anymore. Then that all stuff came out, and then it was like, well, that sucks because we could have won a Super Bowl with T.O. But we've ran him out of town. Why? Because the quarterback didn't get his way. I'm not saying that's what Jalen Hurts is trying to do. My point is it's a relevant comparison because it's between the star quarterback and the star wide receiver. And all I'm saying is at the beginning, the narrative was one thing, and then the facts came out, and the narrative completely switched to, you know what? They both were assholes. They both were divas, and they couldn't coexist. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying Jalen's being a diva. I'm just saying I would like to know what the fuck's going on before we have to sit here and talk and scream about it for 20 minutes every week. And you can't answer the question just like I can't answer the question because nobody knows. That's all I'm saying.
And I can go by what I see. And what I see is one guy acting like an immature jerk off and the other guy winning football games with or without A.J. Brown.
Okay. And when Donovan and Terrell Owens were going at it, who acted like the diva? Publicly. No. Publicly.
Donovan didn't do anything publicly. A comment about Brian Westbrook's contract and not Terrell Owens' contract was very notable, very talked about in the city, and it was very obvious what he did. He made a stake for Brian Westbrook to get paid and not for T.O. It's 100% what happened. And I was on top of that when that happened. Control, what's hot wire?
All right, so I don't even know how we go over to the hardwood for this, but starting off, I mean, it's only right. It's old news at this point, but it's the biggest thing that broke since our last show this past Wednesday, and that is Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Terry Rozier, former NBA player Damon Jones, all were arrested from the FBI in connection to a illegal gambling operation that stems from playing illegal poker games where games were rigged, where they had glasses where they were able to see what cards were coming beforehand. Also stems from, Terry Rozier leaving games early due to injury, specifically back in 2023. Damon Jones had inside information about when players would and wouldn't play back in 2023 as well there. So basically all of this came out Thursday, right after our last show. And all of them have, since been arrested and are, of course, on leave from the NBA currently. And it just came out today that their contracts and all the money that they are supposed to be earning now will not be going to them, and it will be going into an escrow account that's essentially in this like limbo until everything gets sorted out in the courts. Want to get your guys' thoughts and reactions to what's going on in the NBA right now.
I mean, I talked about this last week, and I'll talk about it again. Any sport, gambling's ruining sports. And it's not, I know that the poker game and the whole situation that's not involved in sports. Terry Rozier threw games. Terry Rozier faked an injury or said he had an injury and told a bunch of people to bet on the under. I 100% believe that there's still people getting bought in sports and getting bought out and getting paid. And I love that the NBA suspended their salaries. They're holding $33 million worth of money to not pay these guys. And I think there's more. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think there's definitely guys that throw games. I think there's definitely guys that give information that they shouldn't. I 100% think there's a lot of shady business going on. Period.
Bill?
Yeah. I mean, basketball's gone through this before sports betting was really even legal. Other than Vegas, you went through the whole Tim Donaghy thing. We've talked about before, that Lakers Kings series back in the day. And I think basketball, believe it or not, is one of the more easier sports to manipulate, in my opinion. Terry Rozier, throwing games, having an $8 million lien against them, trying to make money to pay that off. Like that wasn't going to come out. It's going to suck, but it's going to ruin it for a lot of people. But, I do agree with Gene. I think it's the tip of the iceberg. I think it's going to come out more and more. I think more and more people are going to get caught. I don't think they realize, the people they're dealing with are greedy. So, it's not like, oh, hey, let's all bet Terry Rozier's unders and bet like $2,000 to win 8. No, some guy put 200 grand down. Like that's not going to raise a flag in a computer somewhere. Like, and then Terry Rozier goes out, plays 2 minutes, and pulls himself out, and that cashes out. You're not going to outsmart the computers. These betting sites run on algorithms and AI that you're just not smarter than. So I think more and more people are going to get caught. Then you get into shady dealings like Chauncey Billups, where you're stuck in bed with the mob and the mafia owing them money. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And I think the pro sports, to Gene's point, I'm glad the NBA is holding the money. But at some point, they're going to have to really take a stand and just ban it and say, while you're playing in the NBA or playing in the NFL, you can't bet on anything, because they have no problem cashing the checks from DraftKings and FanDuel for being the official sports book of the NBA or the official sports book of the NFL. They have no problem taking that money and all the ad money from these sports books, but they want to turn around and be like, "Oh, that's bad. Don't do that." You can't have your cake and eat it too. They're gonna have to do something as well and just say, "Hey, if you're a professional athlete, you can't bet. You get caught betting, you're gone." and that's just what it's going to have to be.
I think
Tim
the one
Donaghy
interesting
said that the FBI folks told him that they can't cover this up like they did with his case.
I think this is the one thing that's interesting about this is it's interesting that both you guys bring up the whole Donaghy situation, and he basically came out on Netflix and said Scott Foster was a part of this thing as well. And obviously there's a whole cover up of what happened when the Donaghy case happened. But Scott Foster was still reffing games and still reffing games, to this day. And so for Tim Donaghy to come out and basically say, yeah, they can't cover this up like they did with me. Well, yeah, because it's kind of still going. Like, I don't know if Scott Foster is still, allegedly throwing games and things like that. But when you open up the door for this, I think the NBA was still trying to cover this up because let's not forget, just a few weeks ago, Terry Rozier was already being investigated from the NBA about, potentially throwing games and things like that. And they actually, absolved him of any wrongdoing. So this came directly from the FBI. The NBA had cleared him. So if it wasn't for the FBI coming in and arresting him and things like that, like Terry Rozier would still be playing basketball right now. And of course, I know they said the Chauncey Billups case is connected, but just different because it was ultimately had poker games involved in it there as well. To me, I think this is a case of the NBA has been trying to cover their tracks pretty much this entire go of things. And the FBI has been monitoring everything. And if this is dating back to 2023, like they probably have substantial evidence. So of course it's always going to be, innocent till proven guilty there. But for them to be sitting on this for 2 years and then ultimately wait until the NBA, absolves Rozier of any wrongdoing. Malik Beasley had also been looked at for the gambling and just odd money coming in towards him as well. It's just crazy that all this is happening within the same time frame there. And I think the NBA is definitely about to be under fire here because they were quite literally moments away from just letting this kind of get swept under the rug there.
Look, at the end of the day, it's if you go back to the 1919 Black Sox scandal, organized crime had a hand in it. It might not have been the mafia, but it was organized crime members and gamblers, and they were traced back to organized families in the mafia. But whatever, wasn't 100% mafia led. This has traces back to the mafia. Chauncey Billups was up 5 points with 3 minutes and 30 seconds and subbed out his best 3 players. Lost the game. You want to talk about these guys are 100% fixing games in the NBA all over the place. Follow the money. Not hard to find. It's not, listen, when you look at so many of these teams and players that miss their totals or leave after everyone's betting on them and then 7 minutes into the game they leave, but they're back the next game. Come on, man. Like, this is silly. It's 100% fixing in sports. It's going to ruin sports. It's ruining it already.
It's kind of wild, too, because it's not like a guy like Terry Rozier wouldn't be strapped for cash. And I get it. He's not like a superstar or anything like that, but he's definitely made his fair share of money as a player. So this, getting $200,000 for leaving the game early, like that's just, I don't know.
You're
Just
trying
wild.
to taking chunks out of an $8 million lien against everything you own. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Wild. Next subject here. You got Brian Kelly, now former coach of the LSU Tigers, has been fired after a blowout loss to Texas A&M. During Kelly's time at LSU, he was 34-14. Best season being, I'd argue, year one, where he won the SEC West, made it to the conference championship game there ultimately, and then he won the Citrus Bowl that year. He was 19-10 in the conference, but this was a year where coming in, a lot of people thought LSU was going to be true title contenders, and now with 3 losses, they are. I mean, it would take a miracle for them to get back into the college football playoff race at this point. want to get your guys' immediate reactions to the Brian Kelly firing. And, with this happening, I do think this is now the best job open on the market, and wanted to get your guys' opinions on if anybody, off the top of your head really fits to go to LSU.
I mean, we talk about standards at programs all the time, and LSU is definitely one of those programs that has high standards. You mentioned 19-10 in conference. That's not going to cut it. His first year there was his most successful, and a lot of those weren't his kids. He's done a decent job at recruiting, but he's just losing football games. If LSU is not relevant, in the SEC title race, let alone the national title race, those people down there are not, they're not going to be happy. They eat, breathe, and sleep football down there between the LSU and the Saints. So I always thought it was kind of a weird mix, taking kind of a Midwestern guy and putting him down in the SEC. And I think a lot of it, more than anything, is I just don't think. I don't think Brian Kelly's a bad coach. I think he falls in that category that he's a really good coach. I don't think he's an elite coach. But I just don't think LSU was ever a great fit for him. A fit for him and LSU, being having the standards that they do and the expectations, his results just weren't cutting it. And then, with what's going on across the landscape already with Franklin being fired, and a lot of, Billy Napier being fired and a bunch of other guys on the hot seat are expected to lose their jobs at the end of the year. To Cottrell's point, LSU is going to be the best job open as of now that we know of. And they want to get out there and make sure they get their, whoever their first choice is going to be. They want to make sure they get their guy because, the way the SEC is going, it's that conference doesn't stop for anyone. So if you take a 2 or 3 year lull, you'll just get left behind and nobody cares. So be really interesting to see who's going to end up being on their short list. Because there's not really a guy that I think jumps out to me other than one, which I think is going to be their first call. Just not sure if he leaves, which will be Dan Lanning in Oregon. Has the SEC experience already coaching at Georgia under Kirby Smart. So it's going to be really interesting because I think it's going to be kind of a domino effect once LSU fills and where the other guys go. A bunch of news came out today that Marcus Freeman already turned down both Penn State and Florida, so he's out of the running for there. I don't think he would leave Notre Dame for LSU either. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know. There's not like LSU I would associate with a really big name, and I'm just not one other than Lanning that really jumps off the table to me that I think would be a possible chance of actually going there.
Louisiana State Governor Jeff Landry said that he will not allow athletic director Scott Woodard, who oversees the Tigers football program, to pick the head coach. This is a pattern. The guy here now, Woodard, that wrote that contract, cost A&M $77 million. Right now, we have $53 million liable. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe we're going to find a great coach. Maybe I'll let the president pick it. He loves winners. That's what the Louisiana governor said.
I mean, pretty sure the governor's got no say in what Louisiana State does, but that's an interesting take nonetheless.
He said I can tell you right now, Scott Woodard is not selecting the next coach.
It's a guy who I believe he hired Jimbo at A&M, and then obviously he made the hire of Brian Kelly at LSU. So Sonny doesn't have a good track record. To be honest, like I feel like, let's be real here, in the state of college football where it is right now, this isn't a one person decision. This is, you have to get your whole board on your side. You have to get, your donors on your side. Like, it wasn't like this AD just went in and said, hey, I think Brian Kelly's the guy, I'm going to go hire him. No, it was like, hey, he probably went to him in a meeting and said, if I can get Brian Kelly to come to LSU, like, are you guys willing to front the money for it? And they said, absolutely, bring Brian Kelly here, and we think he can help us win a national championship. because Brian Kelly was a hot name. Like, as much as all of us here don't like him, he was a hot name at that point. He was a guy who won everywhere he was at, whether it be Cincinnati, Notre Dame, D2 level at Grand Valley. Like, Brian Kelly has won pretty much everywhere he's been to this point. So it wasn't like they had just went out on this limb and, everybody just knew this would be a horrible hire. Of course, he doesn't have the SC connections, which is kind of unusual for, the higher profile schools in the SEC there. But I feel like this is just somebody needs to be the scapegoat for it. And, ultimately, this is the LSU AD right now. For me, I think, I said this on Coast to Coast last week before we knew he was ultimately going to get fired here. I think if LSU is smart, they try and get the hottest young name out, whether that's, if they can find a way to secure Dan Lanning from Oregon. I think, this would be one of those jobs where he wouldn't leave unless he had an NFL job. I think the one that I would go after would be Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State, because I truly think that's a job that he could be there for 10, 15, 20 years, really build a legacy. And because he goes about things the right way.
2 years after winning a national championship in LSU. I don't think 10, 15 years is reasonable.
But why do you say that? Why do you say they would hire?
Because LSU is not patient, right? They'll win a national championship, and then 2 years later, they'll fire their head coach. That's insane to me.
But when does that happen, though?
It happened in LSU with Ed Ogeron.
But that's not why he got fired. He didn't get fired because he wasn't winning games. Like, there was more to that. Like, I look back at LSU and I see them and how loyal they were to Les Miles. Is many years they didn't have success there, and Les was a good coach there. And I mean, I know it got kind of ugly there at the end, but I think with Dillingham, if consistently going in the way his coaching track record is, at least right now at an Arizona State, if he gets his guys, they're going to be competitive every single year there. Like, I would want the young guy
to get his guys.
Well, they just gave Brian Kelly 3.5 years. Like, I think with Kenny, like, you give him a year. I mean, maybe even less. Like, Kenny's that good of a coach where I think with the guys they had, if Kenny was coaching this LSU team right now, I don't think they'd have 3 losses, and I think they would firmly be in the discussion of being national championship contenders this year.
All righty.
Any names you got, Gene, for the LSU job?
I mean, I listen. I didn't go out and call anybody they want to call. They're going to spend a lot of money. It's one of the biggest ticket jobs that you can find out there. The most notable name to me, and listen, it comes up every single time you talk about a prominent SEC, head coaching job, is Dan Lanning. And bringing him back to the SEC just makes too much sense to me. But when he didn't jump with the Alabama job, I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama. I mean, I think a lot of it's going to depend on the number. I think a lot of it's going to depend on what Oregon wants to match. I think a lot of it's going to depend on if he actually wants to go. Dillingham came out today and kind of didn't really make it sound like he was that interested in the LSU job. I mean, that could just be a smokescreen, so we'll see. But a lot of people floating out there. The offer is going to be between $12 and $15 million. Oregon has that money, obviously, with all the Nike money to match it. But that's to coach college football in the SEC. I mean, that's a really hard number to walk away from. I mean, because I think Kellen DeBoer is making 7.5, 8, something like that, which is what Alabama was offering. $15 million to coach a sport is a lot of money.
Add a better program, and I mean, let's be honest.
It is.
Louisiana probably as a city as a whole is just better than Oregon. Well, I mean, as a state as a whole, better than Oregon.
Louisiana State is not better than Oregon.
No,
I disagree with that completely. As a state,
I'm saying as a location. Like, when I say better state, I mean like college football, like football in general, like football specific.
Nike, I love Oregon. If I was a coach,
there's nothing out like it. To Bill's point, like Alex, I'm Ducks fans are crazy. Like they support their team like crazy. LSU is a different animal. Like, talk about like top jobs in college football. Like LSU is a top 10 job, bona fide, and it's a better job than Oregon.
They'll hire Lane Kiffin, or they'll hire
Florida,
or they'll hire Joe Brady to come back.
I could see that
they hire
Joe Brady would be cool, but if I'm him though, I'm like, I mean, hell, I could get an NFL head coaching job now. I'm the OC of the Bills. Like, I saw Dable parlay it into a head coaching job, and I'm doing a better job than what he did.
I would be surprised if Joe Brady went backwards, only because, like I said, like Cottrell said, I think he's on the cusp of at least starting to interview for head coaching jobs. And I mean, college football is such a different grind than the NFL with recruiting and everything else. I don't know if Joe Brady wants to go back to that. It would be an interesting name, though. He obviously has a ton of ties to the school. So, but again, I'm not saying that he's going to leave, and I know Alex has to keep saying that out loud. So he feels better about it, and I get it. But it's a better job. It's a better job, and again, $15 million is a lot of freaking money.
Gene, I'm curious, before we move on here real quick, I'm curious to know because I do believe that LSU, Florida, Penn State, like they're probably all going to be making some of the same phone calls here. Are you okay if like it feels like in the process that Penn State ultimately hires a consolation prize? Like, or do you want somebody who was going to be all in? Like, let's say, for example, it was, I don't even know the right person for this. Let's say Dillingham or like something like that. Like Dillingham ultimately is like, oh yeah, like I want the LSU job, and then LSU goes with somebody else essentially, and then he's like, oh well, Penn State's open. Like that's still a step up. I'll go to Penn State.
I don't care who is a consolation prize or who is not. I want a guy that I want. I want Dillingham. I want Rule. I want one of those guys.
So if they interview for the LSU job and they'd ultimately go to somebody else, and they're like, all right, I'll go to Penn State still. You're good with it.
Yeah. If it's one of my guys, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think Matt Rule interviews anywhere else besides Penn State.
I mean, I don't think so either. I only say that because I thought Penn State was going to be the best job on the market, but now it definitely comes second fiddle to LSU. So I think you're going to see a lot of when it's all said and done, people getting interviews and all that. Like, I think you're going to hear a lot of the same names coming up. So I was just curious.
Clark Lee from Vanderbilt's going to get some looks.
Eli from Missouri.
But we'll see.
All right, gents.
Might get some looks.
Who?
Brent Key.
Yeah. Key could get looks as well. All right, so last topic here, Hot Wire. We had the most uneventful UFC card that I can remember in recent memory. Mackenzie Dern is your new champion at 115, and then the Tom Aspinall Cyril Gane fight ultimately was a no contest after Cyril Gane poked Tom Aspinall in the eye. Not sure if you guys actually saw this card. I know it was a 2:00 start time this past Saturday. I guess I really don't want your thoughts and reactions to the card because it was that bad. But we always talk about UFC. We gave it a small little preview last week. Just initial reactions here. Do you want to see them running back right away? I guess give me something about the card.
I can't believe they're going to run it back. I know they have to, but the only fight I looked forward to on the card was watching that fight. And then after one round, it was over. Not a fan. Terrible card. I'll tell you right now, Mackenzie Dern and Vima played out the most boring 5-round decision. It was just so boring. Like, I get it. It was back and forth. It was boring. I don't know. Not a good card.
I mean, I would have been furious if I would have paid money to watch that. To Gene's point, I mean, I guess they have to run it back. Whenever Aspinall is ready to go. It's just crazy what a disaster the heavyweight division has just been the last 3 years. You put the belt on the guy that you think it's going to hold it for a while. Now you get this no contest. It was boring is the right word for it. It wasn't a good card. If I would have paid $60-$70 for that, I'd have been pissed. I would have been asking for a refund. Just wasn't ideal. Again, I think it was, it's one of those cards that was made to, make the Saudis happy for all the money they were paying the UFC to bring the card there. Money grab, and I think the card and the fights played out, like exactly what it was. That card certainly wasn't made for the fans or the diehard UFC fans. So Saudis loved it. They got their money's worth, I guess. Everybody else got screwed.
I will say the one thing though with this fight that I'm curious about seeing, I guess, whenever it happens again, is that from what we saw before the eye poke, and granted it was a very small sample size, Cyril Gane won the first round. And so with that said there, I'd be curious to see how Tom Aspinall would have responded. I also think now that first round kind of happened the way that it did, whenever this next matchup happens, I do think it will look completely different there. But yeah, I mean, as a whole, very disappointing card. And the fact that we got that, I mean, it being a main event at 2:00, a main card at 2:00 on a Saturday, like that's honestly what that card felt like. It felt like it was an afterthought. It felt like, I could be all good just watching college football throughout the day. So as much as I didn't like that card, this next one's going to be really good in a couple weeks, 322. So looking forward to actually talking about that card. But yeah, this 321 was a joke, but wanted to at least bring it up here because we previewed it last week and we always talk about all the UFC cards there. But that is it for Hot Wire this week.
Before you get off Hot Wire, I do want to ask a question about that fight, just quickly. Do you think Tom Aspinall took the easy way out?
No.
TJ Dillashaw said he did, and I just kind of want to get your opinion. And
TJ Dillashaw is a guy who fought with a dislocated shoulder, so like I understand where he's coming from essentially with it, but it's come out, like I've kind of been following it, and it's come out that doctor said that he doesn't have any damage to his eye per se, but that fight should not have continued. And I honestly think with the amount of time that was given there as well, I don't know. I don't think it was the easy way out. I think if he could have continued to fight, I think Tom's one of those guys that would have gutted it out.
Okay. Just wanted an opinion. I don't know. It didn't look like he did, but I wouldn't put it past him. I think that first round, Cyril Gane was a little bit quicker, a little bit more agile than Tom Aspinall, and it was obvious. I don't think he really clearly won the round. Like I think he won the round. It was 10-9, but
yeah,
it didn't feel like it was a dominant round. It just felt like a close round win.
Yeah.
And it's not what I expected. And when he got poked in the eye, could have seen a way out. I don't know. Is it time to talk about the GOAT now? Is it time to talk about the GOAT?
What GOAT we talking about? Which one?
I mean, listen, guys, this is gotta stop, bro. The greatest performances we've ever seen in the history of postseason baseball. Guy breaks another record. Another one. He reached base safely 9 times in a postseason game. I mean, the guy is just next level. They intentionally walked him to lead off an inning. They're like, we can't throw to you right now. The only reason the Dodgers won Game 3 was Shohei Ohtani. I get it. Freddie Freeman hits the walk-off home run, but they're not in that position if it's not for Shohei. It's 2 doubles, 2 home runs. He accounted for 4 of the 5 runs that got them into extra innings. Yeah, I mean, we wait long enough, somebody else is going to get a hit. But it took them a whole other game for somebody else to get them a hit. And you're getting a free base runner every 8 at-bats. because the ninth guy, they're just intentionally walking this. Shohei Ohtani is something we've never seen. And I'll say this. He's not the greatest of all time for a career aspect, but his peak is higher than anyone's ever. This is the best baseball player at peak we've ever seen. Who does the shit he does? He went 8 for his last 8 and then got walked 5 times in Dodger Stadium. Now, last night, the Blue Jays did a much better job of pitching this Shohei Ohtani. But it didn't matter who you threw at him in game 3. The guy was just next world. He was locked in. Had the double end up scoring a game-tying run or to make it 4-4. Then the Jays go up 5-4. What's Shohei Ohtani do? Hits an opposite field home run, tie the game. And then Blue Jays manager's like, I'm done with it. I'm not throwing to the guy anymore. It just pointed at first base for 5 straight bats. This is next level shit.
I think the one thing that of course, Shohei was absolutely incredible game 3. But I think the craziest part about all that is, so you have I believe it was in the 12th or 13th. It was one of the earlier extra innings. You intentionally walk Shohei.
Yep.
Then you intentionally walk Mookie to load the bases for Freddie Freeman. Like the balls that it takes to do that from Toronto's manager, because obviously you really are in a no-win situation. All 3 of those guys have the capability to end that with one swing, and Freddie almost did it. I mean, Freddie took a ball to the deepest part of the warning track, not to even forget about the fact that Freddie hit a walk-off grand slam last year in the World Series. So Freddie is a clutch player. And then obviously Freddie had to walk off in that particular game in the 18th. Really nothing you can do about that. You're not going to intentionally walk Freddie first batter up. So it was absolutely wild, the course of that game. And I actually stayed up to watch the entirety of the game. On the East Coast, it ended around 2:50, so it was nuts. But it was one of those ones where I felt like if I went to bed, I was going to miss something crazy. And the fact that you got 18, it was 5-5 going into the 10th. No runs got scored for 9 more innings. That's absolutely ridiculous. So had to watch it. It was absolutely incredible game there. And I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts, because obviously Shohei pitched the next day, and I don't want to say fatigue was the reason why he gave up 4 runs, but I mean, late he gave up the home run to Vladdy. Vladdy is Vladdy, but then late he got into the 90+ pitch range, and the hits just started to kind of pile up there. Do you think fatigue played a factor into that? Would you not have pitched them necessarily the game after 9 plate appearances? What were your guys' thoughts on, I guess, that aspect of it? Because I know you guys play softball, you play baseball at a point there. What does that do to you? And I'm sure you haven't been to 18 in the game, but what does that do to you playing that long?
I've played in a 16-inning game before, not 18, no. I don't think it had that much of an effect. I would say if you're in the effect of, if he wasn't DHing, then I think you seriously would have had to consider skipping him or pushing him to game 5. Because then when if you're hitting and running as much as he was, and then on top of that, you're going out and playing the field and literally being on your feet the entire game, at that point, I think you might have to consider pushing him to game 5. He didn't pitch terrible last night. He didn't pitch great. He hung a slider inside to Vladdy. Vladdy, if you take Shohei out of it, Vladdy's the most locked in guy, going besides Shohei, maybe Freddie Freeman. Vladdy just didn't miss it. And then, later on in the game, I think Roberts left him in probably a batter or two too long. 6 innings, 4 runs, not terrible. It's not great. It's not a quality start, but the night before, again, it's something I highly doubt in our lifetime we'll ever see again. Just banana numbers. the only thing I don't want to overlook is Freddie had the double in the 7th to tie it up 4-4 after they walked Shohei that time. Not intentionally, but he just walked. But maybe doubled. I forget how he got on. But yeah, he did double. He scored on the single, or he scored on the double. So Freddie had 2 clutch hits that game, and then to your point, Cottrell, the fact that we know Freddie's clutch factor. I get walking Shohei. Mookie's been okay. Like Mookie hasn't been Mookie per se. To then put Mookie on to pitch to Freddie, I was like, this was definitely one of those things that I was like, I don't know what this guy's doing. But Freddie's one of those guys that can hit lefty. I mean, he's proven it over and over. You look at the walk-off. I mean, the guy hung a curveball, and like Michelle said, after they walked, he barely missed that one in the deepest part of the park, and then they hung another one the 18th, and he just didn't miss it. That's the Russian roulette you play with the top 3 in that lineup. You got to keep facing them. It's hard to face them in order. But you got to pitch to somebody eventually. But tonight's game will be, tonight's game is, in my opinion, kind of worth all the marbles. If Toronto can somehow find a way to beat Blake Snell again and get back home, then it would be wild. If you didn't know the final scores of the game, you just looked at the box scores and everything else, you'd be like, all right, the Dodgers are up like 3-1, and they'll actually go back to Toronto with a 3-2 lead. They're scrappy. They don't give up. To your point with the 18-inning game, like you said, 5-5 through 9, and then neither bullpen gives up a run for the next 9 innings. Just absolute brilliance from both teams. And again, I'm sure you'll see another 18-inning game probably sometime in your lifetime. In the World Series, probably not, and not one with the type of numbers that Shohei and Freddie and all those guys put up. It was bonkers.
I don't think that listen, the Dodgers don't win this series, they can blame their bats. Like we talk about the Shohei thing, you can blame Dave Roberts for putting him in the 7th. He threw 6 innings of 2-run baseball, not 4-run. And then he went into the 7th and then allowed 2 base runners their first 2 at bats. He hasn't pitched in the 7th as a Dodger yet. It was a mistake. He shouldn't have thrown him in that situation. Then he allows 4 runs in the game. That's a mistake, especially. And listen, can you help me understand? First of all, I don't get it. I'm an overweight softball player. I'm not a professional baseball player. But if I'm DHing for a game, why was he so dehydrated in game 3? What am I missing? Why was he so tired that he was cramping in the 11th inning of game 3? He had 2 home runs. They're Cadillac drops. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but you're not tiring yourself out on home run balls. Yeah, he had 2 doubles. He ran the bases hard twice. He doesn't play in the field. Why was he tired? Why in the 11th inning was he getting cramped?
I mean, tired and dehydrated, I think, are 2 different things. I understand what you're saying, though. I'd have to look at the weather. I mean, it's still vaguely warm in LA right now. And he's also one of those guys that wears sleeves all the time, and he wears like compression stuff. So that keeps your body warmer than it should. But I'm with you on that one. I mean, being a professional athlete, I don't think you, again, playing an 11-inning baseball game, you should be in a dugout cramping up and needing fluids like that. I mean, again, softball's not baseball, but at the same time, like I've played 7 games in a day and not cramped.
But I can also argue that that's part of it, though. Like he doesn't play the field. Like if you're sitting in the dugout, everybody's eating. I mean, offense is rolling, and then all of a sudden, like gets kind of stagnant there. And maybe not the 11th, wouldn't be the spot there, but you go out, you do some activity, you go back to the bench and you sit down. Like if you're amped up and your body's warm, then all of a sudden it just goes completely cool. Like that does happen.
But see, that's cramping or getting tight. Like I understand that. That's not being dehydrated though. Like that's a completely different thing. I understand that. Like getting up, getting down, and sitting for 20 minutes. Yeah, your body can tighten up. He's also like it's like his routine that he brought over, from Japan has been talked about numerous times. Like Shohei's a big dude. Like he's not some like he's just tall and skinny. Like Shohei's like he's pretty like built, like he's thick. Like his workout routine has been talked about numerous times and how strict his diet is. So I don't know. It's weird to me. It's that again to me that's just a little out of the ordinary. And again, maybe it's adrenaline, maybe it's adrenaline dumping from the ups and downs in the game and then constantly running. But to be tight or something like cramping because you're something like that, that's one thing. But to be dehydrated, that's a little bit different. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't drinking enough water. I don't know what's going on, but it was definitely a little weird.
Your point though about this being Shohei's first time pitching into the seventh, I'd imagine it has to do something with, and granted, obviously it was the wrong decision. We saw how the game got broken open there, but I'd imagine it has something to do with using 10 pitchers in the night before. Maybe you thought if I can just squeeze out, maybe a batter or two out of Shohei, my bullpen arms they had a guy who they said his previous count was high count of the season was like 36 and he pitched 70 pitches, during that game. So like, maybe he was just trying to squeeze as much possible out of Shohei. And I guess also to that same point, outside of the one ball that he left high for Vladdy, he had a pretty solid, pitching performance beforehand. So I can at least understand it knowing the context of them going 18 before and using 10 arms. But obviously I do think it was the wrong decision there. And,
There were 4 guys in their pen that they used out of those 10 arms. Pitched a third of an inning. 4 guys in their pen threw less than 5 pitches, including Banda, who I think that he's got to be your first lefty out of the bench. I get what you're saying, but like Dreyer threw a third of an inning. He's been their top relief pitcher outside of their closer, obviously. This outside Sasaki, he's been their top relief pitcher. He threw a third of an inning. In the 7th inning, you throw Dreyer, you throw Banda, and then you see what you got in the 9th. But you can't punt on a game by throwing a guy who was dehydrated the night prior, the first time into the 7th inning since he's been a Dodger. I don't agree with that.
And I'm with you. I'm not necessarily saying it was the right move. I'm just saying also, we're granted I feel like that 18 innings makes us kind of forget too, but like, this has probably been the most inconsistent bullpen of really, I'd argue, almost any team that was in the playoffs this year. Like that Dodgers bullpen as a whole before you get to the closer, and even then, a lot of inconsistencies there. We were talking about, keys to this series, getting the starters out, because once you get to the bullpen, like that's really where that Dodger weakness is. And again, I'm not necessarily saying it was the right move or the wrong move there. I was just, curious on the thought process of going into it. Like, do you trust Shohei at pitch 90 more than you trust Banda coming in, in that situation, things like that?
Ultimately, the guy ended up giving up the big hit. Like he came in after Shohei gave up the 2 hits. But when you put, and I'll speak to this, and then Charlie, when you put them in that situation where they don't get a clean inning, some of these relief pitchers are specialists coming out of the pen to get you out of big situations. Some of them aren't great when they don't start an inning. And I think you have to know your team better.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the stat of inherited runners, like how many guys you strain when you come in. I definitely think that was the mindset of I'll throw Shohei out there. Hopefully, he gets like a cheap out, maybe strikes somebody out, gets an out or two, and then we get him out of there. I think the big mistake was the leadoff guy gets on. I think that's got to be the plug right there. That's got to be you got to go get him. To Gene's point, bring it in and then go from there. You're also putting you're now letting him stay and now go first and second with no outs. That's a totally different situation than guy on first with no outs. Like any kind of hit's most likely going to score a run. Even if they hit 2 ground outs, they're probably going to score a run depending on where they are. You're putting you're not putting your team in the best situation to win. And we've also seen it before where, especially in the playoffs, you see relievers come in and guys that you're used to being shut down, you're seeing, lights out type guys, they come into different situations than they're used to in the regular season and they don't fare well. Like we see guys We see the whole thing like, oh, I'll bring my closer in and try to get like 9 outs. And it never works. It never works. Like the guys are used to coming in, throwing 20 pitches as hard as they can, getting 3 outs. And now all of a sudden you want a guy to come in and try to get you 4, 5, 6 outs and pitch 2 innings. And it very rarely works. These guys are creatures of habit. They have a certain mindset. They're used to coming in a certain situation, a certain way, having a certain routine. And when you upset that or don't continue to follow that, sometimes it doesn't work well. And like I said, I look at it if, for me, like I said, the biggest mistake for me was once Shohei gave off that leadoff hit, I would have went and got him. That at that point, then is I'm really not gonna try to put my reliever at that point coming in really behind the 8 ball. Then Shohei stays in for one more batter, gives up another poke hit to left field. Again, like I said, now you're bringing a guy in with guys on first and second, no out. There's no room. There's no margin of error now. There's none. Anything that gets through is going to be a run. If you walk somebody, you're loading the bases now. Like it's a completely different mindset to coming in with a guy on first and say, hey, if I can just got to roll over on a curveball, I might throw a double play ball. And, now we're bases empty, 2 outs. It's just it so much changes with that extra runner. So I think that's where Dave Roberts really fumbled the ball there, in my opinion, last night. And it cost them. Toronto came out with 2 big hits after they took them out, and that was 4 runs, and that was more than what they needed.
Before I just want to ask you guys a question. Dodgers, Blue Jays, who wins tonight? Who wins the series? Just quickly, we're gonna get right into trivia. And then before I say that, Amy Pages looks like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I think that there's a good percentage of people that play men's slow pitch softball that can hit a baseball better than him right now. Like he looks absolutely lost to plate. The guy's batting .80. Like get him out of there if you're the Dodgers. Like I know he's a very good defensive center fielder. I understand that. But God, he looks lost. Just throwing it's like throwing a beach ball into the ocean.
He had his first hit in like the 14, 15. It was somewhere in extras.
He lacks confidence in the box right now. He's guessing too much. He's not trusting what he sees. And when you factor all that in together, and then you put on the pressure of being in the World Series, you're a shit show in the box mentally. Like he's thinking about 9 different things rather than just trying to hit the ball. It's you go down that wormhole. It's really hard to get out of, especially in a World Series.
All right, who do you got in the series? Who do you got tonight?
I'm going to take the Dodgers tonight. I don't think Blake Snell has 2 bad back-to-back outings. I know Toronto is throwing that rookie kid again who kind of had a shaky start and then kind of really settled in game 1. I'll say the Dodgers win a close one tonight, but if that kid can get through 4 or 5 innings again and keep them in the ball game, then I think it gets really interesting.
Yastavach, he's from Pottstown. He's a local kid.
Yeah.
You know who he is. The guy he looked lost in that first inning, and then he got out of it, and but there's something about pitching at home and getting that momentum behind you versus now you're pitching in Dodger Stadium, and every little mistake turns in. I love the Dodgers tonight. I like the Dodgers in the series.
It's that, but it's also the pressure of pitching at home too. So I mean, it goes both ways. But I know what you're saying.
I definitely get that. I feel like I'd be more comfortable, I guess, pitching at home because it's like everyone's like cheering me on, at least at the start. It's like, all right, as long as I don't mess up, like they're gonna, I get the least feed off the energy. On the flip side of it, everyone is just yelling, and it's I'm sure hostile it's probably not that hostile in LA. They got all the celebrities. They're probably too good to actually yell obscenities at players and
fake ass celebrity fans, dude.
Yeah, it's probably a walk in the park in LA, but
they're sitting there
showing the road.
Bro, it was disgusting last night. They're sitting there showing all these people. I guarantee you, out of the 10 celebrities they just shown, it was the first time they've been to a baseball game all year. Bunch of fake ass fans. I don't want to hear it, bro. Jason Bateman. I love Jason Bateman. That dude ain't going to an LA Dodgers game on a random Tuesday night during the season. Fuck out of here.
Miles Teller is though.
I got the Dodgers though. I do think Snell bounces back. And then I got Dodgers to win the series too. Yamamoto in Game 6. I think he's gonna come out and pitch a gem. So I like the Dodgers in 6.
Okay, I'm Dodgers. Let's get in trivia. Who's got trivia question tonight?
I got trivia this week, and I actually got 2 questions here because one of them I don't know if we've used before.
Okay.
I feel like we are starting to get hard.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't remember this one, but good list. It has 10. And I was like, if we've used this one before, then I got another list that I would use for our tiebreaker. So all good. So going to the NBA, being the start of the season.
No, Gene wins. I'm forfeiting already.
Strictly from NBA contracts.
Okay.
Highest NBA career earnings of all time.
Jesus Christ.
See, the problem with that is, though, you take away all of Jordan's Nike money.
We're talking about just strictly
NBA contracts.
money.
NBA contracts. No endorsements, no shoe deals. Strictly money that you've gotten from contracts.
Charlie, this is easy.
For you?
I will give you a hint, right? Every single person on this list will be in the last 25 years.
Well, yeah,
I haven't looked at the list, but I'll tell you they'll all be in the last 25. I want to go first. I'll take the low-hanging fruit. The reason he asked the question, LeBron James. LeBron James is number 1.
Facts.
LeBron James is number 2.
He should get a point taken off for being an asshole.
I should.
At $581.3 million.
That's absurd, bro. Durant.
Kevin Durant is number 1 on this list.
Bonus point for Sally.
$598.2 million.
Eat a dick, Gene.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is not in the top 10.
What?
Ooh.
I think you're kidding.
I am not.
Wow.
I will go with Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is number 3 at $532.7 million.
Harden.
Damn.
James Harden is not in the top 10.
Okay.
I'm going to go with JoJo.
Joel Embiid is at number 7 at $509.3 million.
Joel Embiid is made. It's hard to believe that this is accurate.
Okay.
It is. I just don't know how it. Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard is not in the top 10.
I mean, we just gave him another $300 million. I'll go with Paul George.
Paul George is number 5 at $516.9 million.
I'm lost at this point. I've named all the guys that have gotten max contracts. All the big names have gotten multiple max contracts. I'm lost.
I wish I could give you a hint because
I'm what?
Your idea is brilliant. Your idea is brilliant. Like you gave Bill the hint earlier of everybody in the last 25 years.
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard is number 8 at $482.9 million.
Okay.
Damn it. I'll go with Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is number 6, $511.2 million.
Is that 5?
That's 5.
You still could. I mean, we could still get to a draw and get to OT here.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh,
Jimmy Butler is not in the top 10.
I'm gonna go with the guy who's playing in like his 20th season now. I think I'm gonna go with Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is not in the top 10.
Fuck.
Giannis.
Shit.
Giannis is not in the top 10.
Oh no. Like he's made enough. I'll go with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving is not in the top 10.
Damn it.
I think he stole enough money. No, I don't want to do that.
Ooh.
I mean, does it count their entire contract or what they've made? So, like, for instance, Jason Tatum signed like the most expensive contract, but would it be as it plays out, or is it the total contract?
What is signed on the dot?
Okay, so Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is number 10 at $469.4 million.
Okay. I think there's a difference between earnings and what they've made so far. And I think in my mind, I was going on not like their full contracts of is what it is. What's that? 5.3?
You guys are missing. Yes, 5.3.
Okay.
Go with Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal is not on the list.
That's the person I almost said. I said he stole enough money. So anyway, it's not active.
Nope. Both these guys are still active. You don't get into an inactive guy until number 29 on the list. So
okay. Are either one of these guys like done asking questions?
Whenever you guys want a hint, I am.
In my mind, I feel like there's got to be like a contract stealer, but Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is number 4 at $520.2 million. Bill, you must get number 9 to win, or Gene gives us a shot to go to OT.
Okay.
Joker?
Joker is not in the top 10. Gene, this can be the redemption story.
He said AD, right?
Yeah, AD has already been said, and he is on the list at number 6.
Okay. I mean, what number was Jason Tatum?
Tatum was number 10.
So I feel like Jaylen Brown wouldn't be there because he signed a less of a contract a year earlier. What number am I missing?
Number 9 is the one that we are missing.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown is not in the top 10.
Okay. Thought maybe he played an extra year. They signed a very similar extension.
Whenever you guys are ready, I can give a hint. I forgot where we started, but I'll wait. No, Gene started it. So yeah, after you go, Bill, I'll give my first hint. Give you 20 seconds here. Any ideas?
I don't think it's enough. He's been elite. I'll go with Luka.
Luka is not in the top 10. So The first hint, because I'm gonna go slow here, because I think we're gonna figure them out rather quickly. First hint, it is a Western Conference player. I was gonna say position, but I'll save that for the next round.
Is he current? Is he played in the other conference?
No.
Okay.
No.
Only reason I asked that is for a former Chicago Bull. But think, dummy.
Yes, Brett. Sorry. Just see.
Is it Clay?
It is not Klay Thompson.
Okay.
But yes, Brett. Top 10, highest career earnings, NBA.
We got 9 of them.
Missing number 9. Bill, let you go here, and then I'm going to give the position. I won't give the exact position. I'll just give, like, front, back, side to side,
Front, back.
Give you 15 seconds here. Plenty of names you could throw out.
None that make really a lot of sense. We said Booker.
Booker has been said already. I need a guess.
I don't even know.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All
Is
right.
it the guy who just signed this huge contract extension this season? Okay, give me the hint. I'll take the hint. I think I know who it is, though.
Player is a guard.
It's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He just signed a $500 million deal.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is correct. Number 9, $469.5 million. So that said, we are now going to OT here. And I got a list very similar to what Gene did at this point, maybe even a month ago. But it is a list that has, I believe, 16 players on it. And this is going to be rapid fire. We're going to go back and forth, maybe 10 seconds max. When we start to slow down, maybe I'll think about extending the time a little bit. But question is, since the NBA lottery has been in existence, so since 1985,
okay,
there have been 16 players that have been drafted number 1 overall and won Rookie of the Year in the same season.
LeBron.
Let's roll. LeBron is, of course, one of them. Bill?
Number 1 Rookie of the Year. Tatum?
No, Tatum did not go 1 overall or 1 Rookie of the Year. Gene, you have a chance to close us out here.
I'll go with number one pick.
I'll give you 7 seconds. So go 10 seconds here.
Give me
Anthony. Need a name.
Ant-Man.
Who was that?
Ant-Man.
Anthony Edwards is not on the list here. Bill, you are at redemption. 10 seconds.
Going back number 1 picks. That's my problem. I should stop. Oh, mother.
I'll go with Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal is on the list in 92. Gene.
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson is also on the list. Back to you, Bill. 10 seconds starting now.
I can't believe I didn't get AI. That's why I'm so mad at myself.
I'll go with, I'm pretty sure he's number 1. I'll go with Timmy Duncan.
Oh, that was the one I was going with.
Tim Duncan is on the list. Gene, we are back to you.
No, I had that. It was my pick. 1985 draft. I'll go with Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing is also on this list. Bill, we are back to you.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm going to use Gene's boy against him. I'm going to go with Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons is correct. Gene, we are back to you.
Ben Simmons is a bum. Absolute trash can. Give me number one pick.
I only have one more.
Well, you're gonna win because I'm running out of number one picks. And I keep going through
All right.
years.
Gene, need an answer.
Give me that guy. The guy.
All right, that's it. That guy.
Greg Oden.
Oh shit! Is that right?
Greg Oden is not on the list.
I kind of figured that. I just was
back to you, Bill. You got a chance to close us out here.
I think he was number one. I'm not sure. I know he won Rookie of the Year though. I'm gonna go with Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is correct, and we have a winner here. You guys left some low-hanging fruit here. I mean, just think about just last year in Victor Wembanyama. I thought that's where I thought that would be a name pick. But you also have Paolo Banchero. You also have Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, Elton Brand, Chris Webber, Larry Johnson, Derek Coleman, and David Robinson.
Derek Coleman.
Wemby, I didn't think played the whole year. All right, well, let's move on to NFL. Well, NFL action.
Where are we going?
I will start with this. Sorry, I was, locked in the trivia. Some small recaps from last week. Jets finally get a win. They beat the Bengals 39-38. Don't care that much. But I guess this was the worst week of football that we've seen. There was no witching hour. There was one possession game. The Jets and the Bengals were the only one possession game of the entire week. That's embarrassing. Couple upsets, but the question I kind of want to lead off with is this. Do we think that Drake May is now like in that category of top 10 quarterbacks? Like, he's been incredible this year. And I have to clearly admit that I underestimated him. I said, I don't know what Patriot fans see in him. And now I see it because he's been incredible this year. Like, when I look at the MVP candidates, he's top 5. There's no doubt in my mind.
So, yes, he's definitely played like a top 10 quarterback all season. However, I also think that you look at it from, I know he played the Bills. You go to Buffalo, you beat Buffalo. It's a division game like that. That's huge. But like, if you actually look at their schedule and look who's upcoming on their schedule, like Drake May is probably going to stay in this discussion. They are fortunate to have the schedule that they do. And that's not to take away anything from him from a talent perspective, but I know how you ask questions about Bo Nix coming into this year and, name the quarterbacks that he's beaten and things of that nature there. And again, I'm not saying it's apples to apples fully with Drake May, but I would say I do want to see it consistently against better competition. Like, the Browns do have a good defense and he played well. Like, I'll give him credit for that, but like, Browns aren't a good football team as a whole. And moving forward here, they're playing a lot of really bad football teams. So I think Drake May has played incredible, but for me, I have reservations on putting that top 10 label on him until I can at least see him do it consistently against, not even just great defenses, but playoff caliber teams in general.
I'll get to this question in a minute, Brett. I seen it earlier, but we weren't talking NFL, but we'll get to it. Stay tuned. So then let me give you a start bench cut that I think that will be a setup for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a start bench cut with Drake May in it.
Okay.
Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix. Because Caleb Williams looked like an absolute train wreck this week. And by the way, as I predicted before the season started, Ben Johnson has all but given up hope on Caleb Williams with Tyson Bagent taking a lot of first-team reps. I knew this was going to happen. I told you that as soon as they struggled, well, I didn't pick him. That's not my guy, my system, blah, blah, blah. So start, bench, cut, franchise quarterback edition. Who would you want to be your franchise quarterback? Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams.
I mean, I as of today, who would I want?
Going forward, you're starting franchise. You get to pick the litter of those three guys. Start, bench, cut.
Right now, it's hard not to say start Drake May. I'm not out on Caleb though. I'm still not out on him.
You gotta cut him. You can't even bench him. You have to cut him. You have to.
I mean, I would cut Bo. I'd start Drake. I'd bench Caleb, and I'd cut Bo. I'm not saying that's the right answer.
Eyes. You're doing what Ian Shalley did with Carson
I'm not
Wentz.
saying
you're ignoring your eyes. Stop ignoring your eyes.
I'm doing what we did.
It doesn't end well.
And granted, we were wrong. Like Justin Fields is not the guy.
No,
but I'm not out on Caleb, man. I can't be out on him.
I don't need you to be out on him, but you can. It doesn't take much to show you that the other two guys are playing as better franchise quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, they've been playing better. I mean, I have no doubt, no reservations in saying
that.
But for me being franchise guy,
starting Drake May, he's benching Bo Nix, he's cutting Caleb Williams. Am I wrong?
No.
I can tell you. I set it up for you for a reason. I put it on
most logical answer. But just like the same reason you came on here and you
Daniels going forward.
I would say this, Gene. For me,
what'd you change?
Do you want Drake May or Jaden Daniels going forward?
Jaden Daniels.
You say that with such confidence. When you watch this kid play, he's dicing everybody up. He's good.
I saw Jaden Daniels take a Commanders team to the NFC Championship game and lead them to be 12-5. I'll take Jaden. Jaden hasn't looked great this year. He's been banged up. Receivers been banged up. So Drake's having a much better year this year than Jaden, but I saw Jaden has, to me, I think Jaden has superstar written all over him. Drake May has really good. I don't know if he has superstar written on him. To me, I think the conversation was, is Drake May a top 10 quarterback? Coming into this year, the question wasn't, is Jaden Daniels a top 10 quarterback? The question really was, how high do you have Jaden Daniels in your top 10 list? I think those are two different things.
Okay, my question for you to be, and I've hung on with the Caleb thing longer than a lot of other people have, but to Gene's point now, and just basing it off what you just said, what have you seen from him that makes you believe that he's still going to be some generational guy? Because he's still making the same mistakes now that he did 20 games ago.
For sure.
And he's in a way more friendly quarterback system now with debatably one of the best offensive minds in the game. So
for me, I would ultimately say it's I think the part that I'm so hung up on is the potential. And I get it. You can't play potential. But I saw the Cowboys game. I'm like, yes, he missed a couple throws in that game. But I'm like, this is the Caleb Williams who I was expecting to see all year. And I get it. The Cowboys
Wilson looked like a superstar versus the Cowboys. Their defense borderline is SEC. It's not even NFL. Everybody looks good versus the Cowboys. Did you just see what Bo Nix did versus the Cowboys? He got 44 points.
I did, but I'm just saying, I saw it.
You can't look at what Caleb Williams does against Texas A&M. I'm sorry. I mean, the Cowboys, and tell me that's your measuring.
But Gene, you have to also realize as well, and I was going to bring this up. A few weeks ago, or at the beginning of the year, I had asked you, moving forward, are you starting you had to start your franchise. Are you starting in with Justin Herbert? Or are you starting in with Trevor Lawrence? And
I was wrong.
Justin
wrong.
Herbert has been the better player, but it's you have what you believed in Trevor. I'm saying for me, Caleb's my Trevor. Okay. You got your first overall pick. I got my first overall pick. Okay. Until shit really starts to hit the fan with Caleb, I'm still rolling with him. I still think he has it in him.
It might be this week.
Callie, what do you consider? What is are you a QBR guy? Are you a quarterback rating guy? What's your stat? If you're a PFF guy, what is your stat that you look at to grade quarterbacks? What is your like go-to? You're like, oh, he's got the best QBR, or he's got the best, PFF grade.
I think rating is a little skewed to me, where I think it's a little too easy to have a really high rating sometimes, depending on how the game goes. And then QBR, my big thing is like it's a combination. It's not just one number for me. It's how far they what's their completion percentage, how far are they throwing the ball down the field. If you're 10 for 10 but you're throwing the ball 4 yards in the air every time, that does nothing for me. Like, congratulations, you're a professional quarterback. You should be able to do that. It's all that type stuff. I guess more like minuscule numbers, like completions in tight windows, like that. I think gives you a better glimpse of what they're really looking at and what they're doing, like how they're actually producing in the game. Like if you throw the ball, 40 yards downfield, but the cornerback like fell down, like, okay, like, you now you have a 70-yard touchdown pass. That's not really telling you the explanation of like what really happened on that play. If you're 3 for 3 with, tight window throws over the middle for, 3 first down conversions, that to me would be like, all right, that guy's having a good start to a game. So I don't love, I guess QBR, I think QBR is better than rating if I had to pick between the two of them.
Okay.
I think rating's just a little bit skewed to kind of things that aren't necessarily in their control sometimes. I think QBR is more accurate to what they're actually doing.
So if QBR is how you go about it, the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'm going to take Lamar Jackson out because he only played 4 games, are Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Drake May, Jordan Love. Anybody missing, in your opinion?
Who's the first one you said?
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, okay.
Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Drake May, Jordan Love. That's your top 5 QBR if you remove Lamar.
I mean, Jordan's quietly having a very good year. Mahomes, the last, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks has been lights out since they've kind of gotten healthy. And we've talked about Drake May and Daniel Jones having great starts to the year. And so, I mean, I'm
don't
not
leave out
super
Dak.
sure.
Don't leave out Dak.
It's fine.
Dak's been playing well.
Plays well all the time. He never wins.
But I'm just saying, don't leave out Dak.
Brett Day looks at QBR, and by that's what we just read. Quarterback rating, removing Lamar, it's Drake May, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Daniel Jones. That doesn't feel like the same.
So May and Daniel Jones are the consistent.
May, Daniel Jones, and Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. So they're on both lists.
Correct.
Jalen's having a really good year. And who was the other one?
Jared Goff.
Puts up big numbers.
Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts are 9 and 10 in QBR.
Well, who's 6, 7, and 8?
But I can't look at a list, and I hate saying this. I don't want to do this. But quarterback rating has Dak Prescott at 11. QBR has him at 1. I can't look at a list that doesn't have Dak Prescott top 5 right now.
Right, and that's why I think QBR is more indicative of how the quarterback's playing. I think like if you look at like rating, like Jared Goff's going to get a bunch of points if he throws a 20-yard slant to St. Brown and he goes to the house. And whereas QBR is more, it's a harder number to get higher, and it's more, again, I think it's more indicative of how the quarterback is playing overall versus necessarily just numbers in a box score.
Okay. Just wanted to get you guys' takes on just, your overall opinions on who is having the best season. But if you were giving out the MVP award right now, who do you give it to?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, we said that before. I'll see.
I mean, see, it's like he was getting all the credit at the beginning of the year because he didn't have anybody. But now that he's playing well and he has everybody back, then it's like, okay, so he's doing what he's supposed to do now. So how is that any different than a Drake May, Dak Prescott or anybody like that? Like,
well, they both have the same QBR. One is 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. One is 17-4. The one that's 17-4 is averaging 262 a game. The one that's 15-3 is averaging 253 a game. The one that has 262 yards per game has 2,100 passing yards. The other one has 2,026. But the one that has 2,026 has a 75% completion percentage. And the one that has 2,100 has a 67% completion percentage. Who would you rather have in that scenario? A or B? 17-4, 262 yards a game, 67% completion percentage. 15-3, 253 yards a game, 75% completion percentage.
75% completion percentage, more touchdowns, one more interception.
No,
I would
75% completion would be the one that had 2 less touchdowns and 1 less interception.
Okay. So 75 versus what was the completion percentage?
67.
67 versus 75. And then the yardage was 262 to what?
253.
I mean, it's neck and neck. The question is, do you value one more interception? One less interception versus 2 touchdowns.
One 6-2, the other one's 5-3.
Which one's which?
Well, he's not going to tell you because that's going to make it obvious.
Well, the 5-3 one's probably Patrick.
6-2, I'd imagine, has to be Mahomes. 5-3 has to be Patrick.
You said 6-2 is Mahomes and 5-3.
I meant Jones.
Yeah.
Jones is 6-2.
7-1. The quarterback that I'm reading the stats for is right now my current MVP pick, and that's Drake May. I hate to say it. The guy's been the best quarterback in football. 75% completion percentage, and he's throwing to you and Shally.
So here's my one thing though with that is that we had a conversation on the show last week, and Drake May's name was not said. You said right. Daniel Jones, you said Baker Mayfield, and I was consistent saying it was. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm just saying I was saying it was Patrick Mahomes, and he goes out and he had the 2 interceptions against the Commanders.
In the first half. Terrible.
Second half, showed up, got everybody the ball.
So if I was 1-2-3 last week, Jones, Mahomes, May, you don't see how this week I changed to May, Mahomes.
But that wasn't it. Again, Drake May didn't get mentioned last week. It was Baker Mayfield was 2. Indiana Jones was at 1. Jonathan Taylor wasn't getting any love. That's really where I'm at. Jonathan Taylor, if I'm going an MVP off of this, I would go Jonathan Taylor.
That's a crazy take, Brett. I don't think you are being a homer often. That's a crazy take. MVP right now is Drake May. All right.
If I had to
I'm not saying I would give it to Jordan Love, but Jordan Love should probably be higher up in that discussion than Green Bay is quietly just having a really good year. There's not
okay. MVP ladder. Let me ask you a question real quick. We'll go quick and then we'll get into pick 'em and then we'll get to college football. MVP ladder. Just ladder, right? We're gonna go this or that. This year MVP ladder. Well, and I'll use Jordan Love as a staple. Okay. Jordan Love is that fair?
No.
Jordan Love or Jonathan Taylor?
I'd take JT.
I'll take JT.
Jordan Love or Baker Mayfield?
Now?
Yeah,
I'd go Jordan.
Right now. I'd go Baker.
Jordan. Probably Jordan.
Jordan Love or Daniel
2 weeks ago, Baker. But Daniel Jones.
Tangent.
Jordan Love or Drake May?
Drake May.
Jordan Love or Dak Prescott?
You don't have to answer my question. Answer mine.
The answer is probably Dak, but winning does have to factor into it. So I'd go Jordan.
Jordan
Love or Jared Goff?
Jordan.
I go Jordan over there. Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts?
Jordan.
Jalen.
15 touchdowns to 1 interception, number 1 in football. He's got 114 quarterback rate, and Jordan Love's got a 112. I'll go Jalen Hurts. And then Jordan Love or Patrick Mahomes.
Pat.
You're
So you
thinking.
got him sitting about 7-8 is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I have him 7. That's not crazy. I have him behind JT, Jalen, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, and Drake May.
7.
That's where I have him. That's not crazy. I think he can still win the MVP. That's where I have him. Guys, we got to get in a pick 'em. We're at 8:41. By the way, just want to give this shout out. Blake Snell started the game. Batters 1 and 2 both went yard for Toronto. 2-0 Toronto.
That's funny. Who let off?
They let off with Schneider and then Guerrero.
Yeah, I knew Vlad was number 2, but
Vlad is just on another. Vlad is on a level where you have to walk him like you're walking Ohtani.
facts.
But Yesavach has 1 2/3 so far, 3 strikeouts already.
Good for him.
Bro, this is I don't even think a picture of this. I don't think I will ever be in this clip picking NFL games again. This is like literally impossible.
Your litmus test last week of picking the Jets to get their first win. I mean,
and what outright?
That just shows you where you're at right now.
The way that all went down was insanity. That was definitely the heat test for sure, though.
Heat check. I got a couple more this week. Couple more heat checks. I have 3. Ged, Control, Shelly, me.
All right, so I'm going to start out this week where Gene really started out last week for the exact same reasons, but it just got delayed a bit. Lamar Jackson is finally playing football again this upcoming week. I will take the Ravens minus 7.5 at the Dolphins. I don't care that they got a win last week against the Falcons. I don't care what that looks like. I think the Ravens are going to go out and try and prove a point, and I think they're going to run it up on the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Next game, I like the over 43.5 Chargers at Titans. I think the Chargers offense will be able to put up points against that Titans team there. But I also think the Titans will also be able to put up points on the Chargers. The Chargers defense has been struggling a bit now that they really don't have a consistent run game. So I do think that'll be a higher scoring game. And then last game, I like the under 48.5 49ers at Giants. I think with Cam Scatterboo officially being done for the year and just getting away Jackson Dart's best weapon, I do think that Giants offense will take a bit of a tumble there. But I also think on the flip side of it, that 49ers offense hasn't been too consistent there. I think 48.5 is a pretty big number. I like the under in that game.
That's still going to be Mac Jones, or is Brock Purdy finally coming back?
Brock is limited participant in practice, but Shanahan's been pretty inconsistent with him coming back. I don't think he's going to play.
He was limited last week. I think the week before that, too. He's not going to play that. Mac Jones is going to start. All right. I'm going to start off with the aforementioned guy we just talked a whole hell of a lot about. Atlanta at New England minus 5.5. I'm going with the Patriots. I think they play well at home. Defense is playing great. Drake May's been playing great. I'll take the Pats minus 5.5. Arizona at Dallas. Dallas minus 2.5. I know their defense stinks, but their offense has looked better. CD back being healthy has helped. I have no faith in Arizona, especially traveling to Dallas. I'll take Dallas minus 2.5. Last but not least, another name we just talked about, Chicago at Cincinnati. Cincinnati plus 3 at home. I'll take them coming off a crazy loss. I don't think Chicago. I think there's all kinds of stuff going on in Chicago. Gene already mentioned Caleb not taking all the first team reps. I think it's a game where Caleb either comes out with a fire in his ass or keeps playing the way he does, and I think he gets pulled. Either way, I like the Bengals. I like the Bengals offense. I'll take Cincinnati plus 3 at home.
I have a stat for you. I almost want to go against you in all 3 games. I have a stat for you though, because I almost picked this game. It was really close to picking it. Do you know that Kyler Murray has never lost in the state of Texas? Never. Never lost in the state of Texas.
First time for everything.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't touch the game because I didn't like it. I just don't like the Cardinals and picking them. But what I do like is I like the same methodology as last week. I like a team coming off a big win, going into Houston and playing the Texans. Give me the Texans -1.5 over the Denver Broncos. Why are the Texans favored? I don't know. D'Amico Ryans has those boys playing great defense, and CJ Stroud looks like he's getting it together. Nico Collins is back this week. I'll take the Texans -1.5 over the Denver Broncos. For my second game, this game makes no sense. The Falcons play terrible on the road. The New England Patriots are rolling. I'll take a absolute 5.5 gimme. Give me the Falcons plus 5.5 over the New England Patriots on the road. Michael Penix should be back this week, and I think the outside zone is going to be running. Bijan Robinson has worst game of the season. Tyler Algier, I think they run the football. I think they play good defense. The no-fly zone there in Atlanta. I don't think Drake May is going to be able to throw the football, and the New England Patriots are allergic to running the football with their best running back. And then for the last game, I'm on the same mindset as Cottrell here. I like this Thursday night football game a lot, but I'm not going to take the Ravens -7.5. Miami plays good football at home, and their offense looked really good last week. I'll go with the over 50.5. Dolphins versus Ravens. I think both these teams get up and down the field. I think this game might hit 70. I'll take the over 50.5. Dolphins versus Ravens. Oh, those tricky Falcons.
It's funny you say that about the Patriots and their best running back. Well, I think that Travion Henderson finally has gone through his humiliation ritual. He had a good game. He had like 70+ yards against the Browns. Then he finally fumbled. Seems like Mike Vrabel has a thing for these fumbling running backs. So maybe you'll see more Travion Henderson this upcoming week.
10 carries, 75 yards, and a fumble.
Yeah, that's a Mike Vrabel stat line right there.
You ain't lying.
Ramondre Stevenson's fumbled about 50 times this year in 6 games.
I think I heard the big issue with Trevion was pass pro, but blitz pickup,
which is, I mean, on film it's definitely showed, but it's kind of crazy because that was probably his second best quality coming into the league. So it's kind of crazy how that hasn't translated.
We will see. Let's get in some college football action.
All right, gents. So, of course, we've already touched on the big news of Brian Kelly getting fired there. This week, this preseason, this was probably one of the most anticipated weekends in all of college football. But the way injuries and job firings and really just the way some seasons have played out, this week really isn't too eventful. Quick little recap of what we had last week. You had A&M beat LSU 49-25. You had Ole Miss going to Norman and win 34-26. And then you had Vanderbilt take care of business against Missouri at home 17-10. And Bo Pribula left with the season, most likely season-ending injury there. This week, you have a couple ranked matchups. You got Vanderbilt going to Texas, but Arch Manning will not be playing in that one. So, like, I don't really know if we want to truly preview that. But the one that I definitely want to talk about that I feel like deserves the time is you got 6-2 Oklahoma going down to Knoxville to take on number 14 Tennessee Volunteers, who are also 6-2. This is very much a college football playoff game for these two teams. How do you guys see this one playing out? Loser basically puts their name on their tombstone. They're going to be done for the year. How do we see this game going?
I mean, listen, I'm in Neyland Stadium. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to Tennessee Vols. I think that Brent Venables made an ass out of himself in the post-game presser talking about the Ole Miss game. I felt like we were the better team. They weren't the better team in any statistical measure at all. I do think Lane Kiffin should shut his mouth and not even he shouldn't be trolling Brent Venables after the game. Like, your team won on the road. Good job. Shut up. But I think Brent Venables made an ass out of himself. And I think that losing at home to Ole Miss and then having to go on the road to play at Neyland Stadium. Give me the Volunteers.
This is a tough game. Oklahoma has clearly not been the same since, Mateer went down with that injury. Even coming back, the offense has been a little stagnant, and the defense hasn't been as tough as it was being in the year. Tennessee's also kind of fallen off a little bit. Joey Aguilar has played well. The defense has not been up to snuff, and they're giving up a lot of yardage, a lot of chunk plays. That's, it's a recipe for disaster, come SEC play time. That being said, I'll go with Tennessee on this one. At home, Neyland Stadium, I think matters, like Gene said. 100,000 plus rocking. I think Josh Heupel gets a big win on Saturday.
I'm with you guys all the way. I'm rocking with Tennessee as well this week. I think this is where the proverbial rubber meets the road for Oklahoma. Mateer had the Heisman campaign. Oklahoma was undefeated. They were a top 10 team, but I just think in a battle of, your playoff livelihood, essentially. I mean, Tennessee is still on the outside looking in as of now, but at 14, you're still very much in striking distance. And that being a home game, that crowd will be rocking. And as a whole, I do think, if it comes down to it, Tennessee's offense, I just trust them more at this point to take care of business and put points up on the board there. So I'm going to roll with Tennessee here as well. I think this is actually going to be a higher scoring game. But I think Joey Aguilar is going to outlast the Oklahoma defense there. And then I feel like that's the only game we really need to preview here. But we've gone 5 years now at this point, and every year we talk about it when the game happens. Gene, I don't care that you fired your coach. You're not getting away from picking the Ohio State Penn State games that happens this Saturday without James Franklin on the sideline.
I'm picking it, brother. I'm picking this game. You ain't got to worry about it.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure at some point we were going to get Gene talking about the Ohio State Penn State game. So if you're picking it, I'll let you have your own time there to talk about it. I'm curious to know if you think now that James Franklin is actually gone, granted you have a backup quarterback, but now that he's gone, do you actually think you have a better shot of actually winning this game than you would have if he was there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I'll say this, right? For Penn State to lose their quarterback, who, by the way, their backup quarterback stinks. Let's not waste any time there. But for them to lose their quarterback and their head coach and then go into Iowa and play Iowa strong, like Katron Allen ran all over that team. Like, this is Katron Allen's time to shine. I think Penn State's defense will be fine. Still a very good defense coached by a very good coach. And me won a national championship with you.
Chopped liver.
We'll find out.
With that said, then, I mean, that's really all I got college football wise this week. Like I said, really light slate, just given everything that's happened between the firings and injuries and things like that. So go ahead and get in the pick 'em. I'll throw the record on.
Oh God, I had a bad week.
Stinking up the joint over here in college. I've gone 1-2. It feels like every single week. But we're still in striking distance, though. We're still in striking distance.
14-10 now. I'm 14th. Bad week. By the way, the 2.5 thing, every one of them lost.
That happened to me 2 weeks ago. Every game I have
you have the lead, so your order is whatever you say you want it to be.
We'll go normal. We'll control me, you.
Okay.
All right. So this week for me, I've been psyching myself out. I'm picking good football teams. So for me this week, first game, I'll take Georgia Tech -5.5 at NC State. Georgia Tech, they keep finding ways to not be respected. I feel like this is a game where clearly the better football team, they're going to go to NC State, dominate the football game, and that just be that. Second game, I got Arizona State +7.5 at Iowa State. Arizona State is another team that consistently gets disrespected with the spread. Bill has cashed in on Arizona State this season. They've been taking that underdog road too hard. Iowa State is a team that has nobody in the secondary, and they've looked like a shell of themselves since their two best corners have dropped. So I like Arizona State to stay competitive in that game, maybe potentially win it outright on the road. Next game, I like the over 61.5, New Mexico at UNLV. UNLV is one of the top 15 scoring offenses in the country, and they are a bottom 10 team as far as points they give up. They score 37 a game while giving up 34 a game. So to me, I think this game is going to be an absolute shootout. That over 61 seems very safe. Love that game there. And then for my super dog, I'm on with a team that's getting a ton of points at home. I'll take Boston College plus 28.5 at home versus Notre Dame. Now, do I ever think Notre Dame's any danger of losing the game? No. But if you're going to give me 28.5 for a team that gets to play at home, I'll take my chances there and hope I pick up a nice amount of super dog points.
All right. I'm going to get this one out of the way quick and easy. Penn State at Ohio State, minus 20.5. Give me the Buckeyes. Too much defense. Offense is going to look great. I know Penn State's defense is still good. They're going to be on the field the whole goddamn game. Penn State might not score. I hate to do it, but Buckeyes minus 20.5. Also minus 20.5, Michigan home against Purdue, taking that too. Different game plans at home, different strategies. I don't know why they look so night and day, but they look great at home all year. Purdue's defense is struggling. Offensive line is healthy. Both running backs are healthy. Go Michigan minus 20.5. Last game, Vanderbilt at Texas. I'm going to take the Longhorns minus 2.5, regardless of Arch plays. I think that defense is going to step up. As great as Pavi has been, I think Vanderbilt's really going to struggle to move the ball against Texas. I think Texas makes enough plays against that Vanderbilt defense. They squeak one out at home. I'll take the Longhorns. Superdog, same as Cottrell. Notre Dame, I think, is definitely the better football team. Boston College isn't great. 4 touchdowns at home is a lot. I'll take the Boston College Eagles plus 28.5 at home.
Word is Arch might play.
He's questionable.
He's got concussion.
Yep, he's in protocol.
He gave a good update today. But even if he doesn't, I'll roll with Matthew Caldwell and the Texas Longhorns. You know the men of Troy. Matthew Caldwell's played in this game before. He played at Iowa last year. The guy did his thing. I'll take Texas minus 2.5 over Vanderbilt in Texas. Texas's front, their defensive line is going to control the line of scrimmage. I'll take Texas to win the game outright, win the game by 3. Next, I made a pick to win a national champion, and they went out and stunk up the joint last week. I'll take the U minus 12.5 over SMU. Give me the Miami Hurricanes. And then I'll take Mr. Ole Miss himself, Lane Kiffin, minus 12.5, putting on a show for Florida, for LSU, for whoever. Give me Ole Miss minus 12.5 over South Carolina. And for my super dog, Kittrell knows where I'm going. I want to clip what Shally said. Penn State might not score a point. I remember a certain host in Colin Coward that said the Eagles might not even get in the red zone when they play against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And they laid up a 40 burger. Give me the K trade. Choo choo. Jim Knowles, Penn State. They're not only going to cover the 20.5, they're going to go into Ohio State and probably lose by 6. I was going to say outright, but I'm lying to myself. Penn State keeps it close, loses late. Give me the Nittany Lions plus 20.5 in a low-scoring game in which I don't know if Ohio State scores 20.5. Penn State plus 20.5.
That game's got 31-6 written all over it. They are going to try, and Ryan Day came out in his press conference and basically was trying to take the high road, and then ultimately said, knowing that Jim Knowles is over there, you try to put that aside, but of course, naturally, guys are going to take this game personal. So I think he's leaning into it. You got a different Ryan Day here. I think they are going to try and run it up, and even if they are up, I do think they are still going to throw the ball and try and exploit that. Like, I do think they want to try and embarrass them.
That defense is good. You're not exploiting shit.
You say it's good.
The defense is good. The offense was trash.
You let Nico score 42. I mean,
hey, you guys have played one good defense this year, and you scored 14 points versus them. Don't get on your high horse when you're beating up Northwestern and Wisconsin and Minnesota.
It was week 1, and first off, Minnesota is much better than what UCLA is. Second off,
Penn State stinks. You're not going to get me to defend Penn State.
You keep saying that the defense is good. You let UCLA score 42, and you said the defense is good. I just want to know how 2 + 2 can equal 4.
Of Ohio State scoring less than 21 than Penn State getting shut out. I'll make that statement right now.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
There's a better chance of Penn State's defense holding Ohio State under 21 than Penn State getting shut out. The K train will be running. Choo choo.
Okay.
Well, Kiki Hernandez home run 2-1. Give you guys updates at home. I don't know what I'm telling you.
Well, that's gonna be a fun game to pay attention to on Saturday, though. What time is that game?
12 o'clock.
Yeah, 12 o'clock on the dot.
Terrible.
I mean, you're playing a 3-4 garbage team. It should be at 12 o'clock.
I mean, regardless, that game was going to be 12 o'clock. Whether you guys were good, Big Noon was definitely going to steal it. But I'm just saying, like, I would have at least preferred a 3:30 time slot. Like, just give me something different.
I don't think there's anything else worth. I mean, we're playing freaking Purdue, so they're not going to take that. I don't know what their other options even were.
Oregon's on a bye, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's get into. You got to be kidding me, gentlemen.
It's the wrong thing.
All right, so I mean, this week was rather light for me. Didn't really have one. I saw some news that came across to me, so I guess I'll use it. I don't really feel a way about it. Just dumb, I guess, in my opinion. Mavericks guard Brandon Williams was arrested and charged with possession of marijuana in the C terminal of the DFW airport on Saturday. Now, I don't know if he just thought he would get away with this. I don't know if he realizes that he could find so many different ways to take care of this. Put it in your check bag if you want to. Like, getting caught like while going through security at an airport as an NBA player, like, there's so many other resources that you have, and this is during the season too. Again, not one that I'm super passionate about. Like, I could care less about the actual, like, what he was arrested for or in this situation here. But ultimately, this is just a guy that made a dumb decision here. So Brandon Williams, unfortunately for you, you caught a light news week. So this week for me, you are my.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Why is it echoing like that?
I don't know.
Mm.
What you got?
I got nothing.
All righty. I have a one that I waited almost a whole week for. Last Thursday night, Kevin O'Connell. What are you doing? Look, I understand that you're very light at the quarterback position. It was 37-10. Your quarterback, who, by the way, is now on a season-ending IR, who had a fractured socket, a shoulder dislocation, and a torn labrum. The entire world could see that Carson Wentz's left arm was falling off, except Kevin O'Connell. You have a responsibility as a head coach and a team trainer to not put these guys in any more injury risk than they need to. If it was 26-23 and he's out there gutting it out, trying to get you guys a win, fine. It was 37-10. Take him out of the game. Show some mercy. What are we doing? The guy is literally just every play, just like, oh, my arm. His shoulder was dislocated. It was out of his socket. And by the way, he suffered that injury versus the Browns 2 weeks earlier. Like, come on, man. That is the definition of you got to be kidding me. So this week, Kevin O'Connell.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Funny thing about that is that JJ McCarthy has served as their emergency quarterback past couple of weeks here. So for him to be the emergency quarterback, that means technically he's been medically cleared to play football. So
he's scared to play. I told you that kid was a bust before he came in the NFL. You guys want to argue with me? He's a bust. The guy stinks.
Calling him a bust.
Football. They're trying to avoid him playing football.
You called Drake May a bust too, and now he's an MVP candidate. So I mean, yeah, we did.
I did not. I said I didn't see what the hype was behind Drake May.
No, I'll find the show because we both said it. I think it was week 1 or week 2 this year. I was with you.
I don't remember calling him a bust. I remember saying I don't know what everybody else sees in him because I don't see it. Is what I said. What I remember saying. By the way, we haven't talked about the NBA at all. I just want to take a second. I want to ask Shally a question. Shally, can you choose your opinion on who the 76ers should have selected at number 3 overall? Because VJ Edgecombe has absolutely played his ass off. And Ace Bailey has been a ghost on Utah's bench. So I'll be man enough to say I thought Ace Bailey showed more potential than VJ Edgecombe. But I said VJ had the higher floor. VJ Edgecombe has been incredible. They're talking. I think he surpassed Cooper Flag, or he's like gotten really close to surpassing him as the favorite to win Rookie of the Year already. When Cooper Flag was like minus 270 to walk into the season, I think they're like even money, both of them. It's very early. You can get off the Ace Bailey over VJ Edgecombe train immediately. Would you like to jump off of it?
We're 5 games, not even. Are we 5 games in?
No, they're
4
now.
4 games, 4.
4-0, and I don't know if
whoop-de-doo.
Ace Bailey scores as many points as VJ Edgecombe scored in the first 4 games this year, in the entire year of 2025. Not next year, but like just November, December. I don't think Ace Bailey will score as many points as VJ Edgecombe scored in his first 4 games this entire calendar year. I'm serious. That's not a crazy take.
I mean, again, I think to your point, I think you're kind of seeing what it is. I think you're seeing Edgecombe's going to be a little bit more consistent. Probably doesn't have the high end long term potential that maybe Ace does, and he's in a way better situation right now. We'll see where everything is 40 games from now and 3 years from now. Like I mean, making predictions 4 games into a season is kind of crazy.
Well, one guy's got 8 points through 3 games, and the other guy's got 140.
Okay,
not 140. Being a little sarcastic, but
I mean, Ace is averaging like what 12 minutes a game. Like it's not. He hasn't played much, and VJ's out there. I don't know exactly what his numbers are, but I mean that Philadelphia team has been letting him play. To his credit, he's been stepping up to the moment for it. But VJ's gotten a ton of minutes, and
yeah,
he's made the most out of him. So give him his credit. But
are you okay with saying that? You're fine with saying that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not fine with anything he didn't say or what he just said. I think it's all accurate. Again, I mean, like when Paul George comes back, if he ever comes back, that's going to eat into his minutes. I mean, he's going to become more of a rotational piece. And then again, he's just on a better basketball team. Like, I mean, Utah stinks. So
wouldn't Utah be playing him more if they were better? If he was not, like, wouldn't they be playing?
I don't run Utah's team. I don't know. I don't follow Utah either. So
I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't give any logic to Utah because they stink. But I'd imagine they would though.
Laurie Marketing dropped 51 the other night. Walker Kessler is balling out of his mind over there. Keontae George is getting playing time. I don't know why.
He had a good year last year.
Walter Clayton Jr. is almost doubling Ace Bailey's minutes, and he was picked 27 picks after him.
Yeah, they're different positions.
I guess.
Well, what's Walter Clayton? I'm assuming he's playing point guard.
Yeah, but Ace Bailey's a guard too.
Okay, but
6'9". but yeah.
So what? He listed as a guard. He was drafted as a guard.
I'm just saying he's 6'9", like
because he's taller. He should play less minutes. I don't understand.
No, we're just saying he's not.
If you look at Ace, like it's like, oh, like he can be our 3. Like maybe they draft, he's listed as a guard. Maybe they draft him to play the 3. I'm saying with Mark, with Clayton, like you just knew that Walter Clayton, you just knew that he was going to be a point guard. Like there's no other position that he can play. Like I'm saying Aces could be stuck between 2 spots, and then it shouldn't be hard to get on the floor. Utah stinks, but I'm just saying they are, to Bill's point, they are 2 different things. Utah was looking at Ace to come in and play point guard for him.
Works. I'm good. You guys are right. We'll see how it plays out. What?
It's 4. Like this is like different. It's like year 4, and we're like, Ace isn't on. Like Ace can't get on the court, and like we're still making excuses for him. It's 4 freaking games into the season.
Yeah, but 4 games into their NBA career, you can sometimes see the writing on the wall. Who's the better player?
If Paul George is healthy, do you think he's playing like he is right now? He's not on the court enough to play that well.
He's definitely going to start for them. They're not going to sit him.
They're not going to sit Paul George.
I think the person that you're going to have to worry about not playing is Kelly Oubre. They're going to sit Kelly Oubre when Paul George gets healthy. When Jarrett McCain comes back, I was
going to say, what about McCain?
Story. When McCain comes back, VJ might get less minutes, but that's to be determined. But Paul George isn't the guy you should be worried about.
So, I mean, with that said, let's stay in that draft class. At this point, are you willing to say that Dallas made the wrong decision in taking Cooper Flagg?
No.
Cooper hasn't played well.
I think Cooper. Well, he had 1 very good game. He played 3 games. 1 was atrocious. 1 was good. He played 4 games, but he scored 22 and 18 points in 2 games. He's not been terrible.
Now, terrible.
Oklahoma City, he was awful. He hurt himself. So, but the other 3 games, he's not been terrible.
He wasn't good against the Spurs. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Right, but that was his opening night. He's first half he played awful.
All right, so we're giving mulligans. Like, I mean,
not mulligans. Cooper Flagg, I think he's 18 years old, and he's scored. Just to be clear, he's still scored 52 points already. Ace Valley's 6. All right, like
I mean, he's also averaging 20 more minutes than Ace, or 18 more minutes than Ace. Like, I'm just saying, like,
Flagg is a no doubt about it prospect.
VJ's played better than him so far. That's why I brought it up.
Yes. All right. Well, that's all we got. Oh, by the way, Utah's up 3-0. Was it? Let's see. It could have been Ace. Oh no, it wasn't. He's not starting. They're playing Portland tonight. You definitely should play. Portland's trying to throw the game.
Well, maybe not anymore. Their FBI's on to them.
All right. Well, any final thoughts, gentlemen? Any final comments, statements?
I got nothing.
Nada.
Shai, I'm going to be honest. I'm very disappointed in Cottrell and all you. I promised.
Don't be disappointed in me.
I promised the baby about the show, and they've not delivered. So we need to get this taken. It's need to get this show on the road quick.
Well, she's due what, the 4th? 5th. So next week we should have a Wire2Wire baby next week.
Let's go, Audia. Stop messing around.
That's who you got to talk to.
Hey, listen, you got to be supportive.
I am. I'm saying you got to take up your complaints with management. I'm not management. I'm boots on the ground. I'm not management.
All right. Well, that's all we got today. Thank you guys for tuning in to Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. That's Kent State's own, Cleveland's own College Control. Uncle Shy, Scholastic Shy, Mr. William Shawcross, and we are signing out.